Hey guys, what's up? It's Ryan here on the Syntax Byte, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw beautiful lines with Three.js. So Three.js does include something called Three.Line, and it uses GL line. And in WebGL, GL line is basically a super simple line drawing mode that draws pretty thin lines. It's difficult to make them thick, and they can look different on different graphics cards, and overall they just look kind of crappy. So what MeshLine is a library that you can use to draw triangle billboarded lines. And you can see these great examples here. The lines really do look really solid. And it has features such as doing dotted lines and other stuff quite easily and built in. So I'm going to show you how to use this library today. I think it's fairly good. Before I do that, let me just give you a quick rundown on what it does on the back end. So basically, it draws lines as triangles, which is what WebGL is good at drawing, and basically billboarding triangles is doing like this, right? So this is like one segment of your line and it's two triangles, and then you start like the next segment of the line and you do something like this. And obviously, okay, that's not even how it looks, but yeah, that's the gist of a billboarded triangle line. So this logic, of course, you could create it yourself, but this wonderful library has created the logic for billboarding the lines for us, and then we can draw it using triangles, which is awesome. So without further ado, let's just get started. I have a basic template here, and I've already included the library, but you can go ahead and just download it from the GitHub page. So you go to source, you go here, you go to raw, and then you would just do save page as and save it in here. Don't save it as a text document, make sure you save it as all files. And then yeah, so we'll replace it, share. Perfect. So that is how you install it basically. Then what you want to do is you want to go over to your index and you want to make sure that you put it in between the Three.js and your game files. Of course, if you're using npm to do your installing, using like Webpack or something like that to compile all your stuff, then you can just go ahead and do npmi 3 MeshLine and then just include it like this. So whichever installation route you choose should be fine. So I have a basic scene set up here. It's totally black at the moment, but we're gonna go ahead and put a line. So the first thing we need to do, there's two ways to include the points on the line. The first way is just this way, where you pass a flat array of points, and so every 3 points are like x, y, z, x, y, z. Even though you're not divvying them up, the array will just be divvied up like that. Another way is to create a 3 geometry, although there is an open issue on the library as I'm filming this video. So if you try this way with the latest version of Three.js and it does not work, try doing it the other way. Okay. We're going to use this way today. So I'm going to add a points array on here, and I'm adding it as a global because I'm going to want to change it later. So we'll do points is equal to a new array, and we'll do for var I is -10. So starting our x at -10, we'll do I is less than 10.1 and I plus equals 0.1. Okay. So we're basically going to create points ranging from -10 to 10 with a point at every 0.1. Now, you want to be conscious of how far your camera is going to be from the line, and how many points you might need to create a smooth looking line. So the more points you create, obviously the smoother your line is going to look, but if you create a bunch of unnecessary points, you're going to use a lot of resources to draw your line that you don't really need. So particularly if you're drawing your line with a bunch of other stuff in your scene, you don't want to have a bunch of points that you don't need. At the same time, you probably don't want a jagged looking line. So just be conscious of that sort of trade-off there. So for my points, I'm going to do points.push, and I am not going to use a flat array. I am going to flatten the array. So for each point, I'm going to push it into its own array, and then when I send the points to the mesh line, I'm going to flatten the array. So we'll do I for x, math.sign, so just kind of giving us some rando y values here. well, obviously not random y values, we're getting the sign, but we'll see a wavy line. And I'm going to do 0 on the z. Then we do, so I'm also going to add my line as a global because I want to be able to modify it later. So then we can do line is equal to new mesh line, and that doesn't take anything. Then we do line.setPoints, and we give it the points, and then I'm going to append .flat so that it will be a flat array. So right now we have something like this, x, y, z, and then we have another array with another point x, y, z. What flat will do is it will pass it, so we have one array with x, y, z, x, y, z. So this is what the library wants, but this is what we have. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because this is easier when I want to modify the points later, that I can loop through point by point by point, right? So that's why I'm doing it like that. Okay. Next we need a material. We'll do var material is equal to new mesh line material. And we'll not pass anything by now. It'll give us a white line of an okay thickness. We'll do material dot actually no, scratch that for now. Sorry guys. Sorry. We'll discuss that in a second. We'll do mesh equals new 3.mesh, and we pass the line first, so the geometry, and the material. Then we do scene.add, and we will do mesh, so we add our mesh. So what we should now see is we should see our line. We don't see our line. Point is not defined. Quick typo, points, and now we see our line. So we could see plotted a sign line, cool. Yeah, so it looks pretty good already. We can see we had sufficient points that it doesn't look particularly not curved. It's, you know, it's not a lot of jagged edges. It looks pretty good. So the next thing we probably want to do is, why don't we try animating the line, right? So you're probably not just going to have a static line. How do you change it? Well, it's pretty easy. Basically, we can just do this line set points again, and obviously we kept our points around. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to loop my points, or I'm going to map them actually. So I'm going to say points equals points dot map, and for each point I'm going to take it and I'm going to return the array. We're going to do point 0, so that's staying the same. Our x is staying the same. Point 1, we'll do plus. Sorry, we'll do like times 1.01, and then we'll do 0.2. So our z is staying the same. From there, we'll do a line dot set points, and we will set points. And that should basically give us a quick little animation. Of course, it fails. Computer radius none. What? What did I do? Points.flat. There we go. So now we have our line, and it is growing. So we probably want our line to bounce up and down and not just grow perpetually. So what we can do is we can do amount to add equals 0.1, and we can add in here quick set interval, and in this interval we will do amount to add times equals -1, so we'll flip it. And we can do that once every like 3 seconds or something like that. I don't know, maybe once every 2 seconds. And then instead of just doing 1.01 here, we'll do 1 plus amount to add, and then our line will bounce up and down. So pretty cool. I'm pretty satisfied with that. We got like a cool little animation going on. We have our line. So what do we want to do next? Next, we probably want to modify the color and the thickness of the line. So in order to do that, we can do pass some params here, and we can do color. It's a new 3.color. We can do like 0x ff 00. I think that's like a blue. Oh, that's yellow. Okay, yellow works for me. And then we can also do like the line width, I believe it is. So we can do like 0.1. Will give us like a super thin line. Looks really nice actually. So that's how we do that. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you how to do is use the dashed line feature. So the important thing to do when you want to use the dashed line feature is to do what I was habitually doing earlier and setting material.transparent is equal to true. And so by setting material.transparent is equal to true, it can have part of the line be transparent. Then what you want to do is you want to add dash array. And this, I believe, specifies sort of the width of the dashes. So we can do like 0.1. And then we can do dash ratio. So this specifies how much of the line is going to be dashed. So if we do like 0.9, I believe like most of the line will be taken up by the dashes, right? And then so if we increase the dash array, I think we'll get more dashes. No, sorry, we'll get fewer dashes. We'll get fewer dashes. So, yeah. So if we want like a ton of dashes, we do like 0.01. But still, we can see like the vast majority of the line is taken up by the dashes. So if we do dash ratio is 0.2, we end up with much less of the line being taken up by the dashes. It's about 20% dashes, 80% the start. And of course, if we increase the dash array, we'll get fewer of these dashes, but taking up still about 20% of the line, right? So that is how you use the dashed array and dash ratio options to change the line dashing. I hope you guys found this video to be useful. That's all I have to show you for today. But I thought this was a neat library, and I recently had to draw lines using WebGL, and it was a real pain in the butt. So I hope maybe someone will benefit from this video, realizing that there is someone who's already done the vast majority of the work for you if you're using Three.js, and the library is quite awesome. I don't know why this animation changed slightly when I changed the tab, but I'm just going to be okay with that. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, definitely comment down below. Also, this is my first video using the new Firefox visual style. I think it's called Proton. I wasn't a super huge fan when it first popped up on my screen, but I think I'm kind of okay with it now. I'm definitely not going to switch browsers or anything over it. So let me know what you think of the new Firefox visual style down below. Subscribe if you found the video helpful, and let me know what you want to see in the future. And that is it for today, guys. Peace out.